From storyflo, this is your daily audio brief. It's Jessica, July 19th. 10 stories from overnight. Sourcing first, takes second. Let's get into it. First, from Reason. Is the Hawaii Supreme Court's Aloha Spirit consistent with a Republican form of government? Hawaii was admitted as the 50th state in 1959. The experience of the Hawaiian people was very, very different from the experience of the people in the other 49 states. The United States of America was established by overthrowing a monarch in 1776. Hawaii remained under the control of a monarch until 1893. During the 19th century, as the American states and territories lived with a right to keep and bear arms, Hawaii had no such protection. Next. Second, from Reason. The free market is more popular than capitalism. A recent Echelon Insights poll finds that the free market economy is more popular than capitalism. 53% of respondents say they have a very or somewhat favorable view of the former, while only 12% have a very or somewhat unfavorable view. By contrast, capitalism is viewed very or somewhat favorably by 49%, while the two unfavorable categories combine for 29%, more than the double percentage for free market economy. Other polls show similar results. Up next, third, from the Daily Beast. Larry David unleashes tirade against old friend RFK Jr. Larry David turned his one-time friendship with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. into a brutal punchline. In a sketch for his new HBO show, Life, Larry, and the Pursuit of Unhappiness, An Almost History of America, the comedian features a thinly veiled version of President Donald Trump's health secretary as a leather-tanned, painfully hoarse vaccine skeptic who gets eviscerated by polio vaccine developer Jonas Salk's mother, played by David. As Salk works on his discovery, his kvetching, craggy-voiced neighbor Bobby drives him nuts, complaining, "That vaccine's gonna kill people." And then, fourth, from the Hindu top, how the second phase of the Iran-US war started and why it is raging. Explained. The MOU, signed on June 14th, stipulated Iran would allow ships to pass with no charge for 60 days only, and that Iran would work with Oman to define the future administration and maritime services in the Strait of Hormuz next. Fifth, from the Hindu top. With her dance moves, this conservancy worker from Chennai has become the new face of social media algorithm. And Sembagavali is many things rolled into one. A battery-operated vehicle operator with Urbaser Sumit in the morning, an auto driver in the evening, and a successful digital creator on Instagram in between up next. Sixth, from the Guardian world. São Tomé and Príncipe heads to polls in tense presidential election. Incumbent Carlos Villanova hopes to defeat his former party and secure second term as independent voters in São Tomé, and Príncipe go to the polls for a presidential election on Sunday, as one of Africa's least populous countries seeks to burnish its democratic credentials. According to the National Election Commission, about 142,000 people are registered to vote in the tiny African states' elections, approximately 15% of whom live in the diaspora. Continue reading. And then, seventh, from NPR News, Argentina, Spain, and their stars Lionel Messi and Lamine Yamal meet in World Cup final. Worry no more about wildfire smoke and $10,000 ticket prices. Sunday's final between Argentina and Spain, the first meeting of their transcendent stars, is here and seems destined to be a classic. Image credit, Charlie Tribolo, Roberto Schmid. Next. Eighth, from Milk and Cookies. The loneliness of establishing boundaries in relationships. Boundaries are often described as clean decisions made by emotionally healthy people who know exactly where they end and everyone else begins. The reality is usually messier when establishing one can feel less like empowerment and more like volunteering to become the difficult person in a relationship that had previously depended on your flexibility. The loneliness begins before anything is said. It starts when a familiar arrangement stops feeling tolerable, yet everyone around it continues behaving as though the arrangement is perfectly reasonable. Up next. Ninth, from Civil Discourse with Joyce Vance. Immigration. How have we become this country? 2 deaths in 1 week. ICE lying about what happened, without facing any accountability. Agents trying to coerce eyewitnesses into leaving the country and intimidate store owners into keeping their video of incidents out of public view. No end in sight to the madness, as Trump pushes back when DHS says it will stop immigration traffic stops. I needed to discuss this situation with someone who understands what's going on and knows what we can do about it. So I turned to Kika Matos, the president of the National Immigration Law Center and the Immigrant Justice Fund. And then, 10th, from the Hindu top, West Asia war live. Iran targets U.S. military bases in Kuwait. Iran's supreme leader vowed to teach the U.S. unforgettable lessons on Saturday, July 18, 2026, as Washington reported its first military deaths since renewing hostilities with the Islamic Republic. That's the day. Back at the desk tomorrow. What to watch is in your subscribe link. If this saved you time, the full feed is free at storyflo.com.